All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. God bless y'all. I'm Jarvis Kingston, and I hope y'all doing all right in these times that we're in. I hope y'all staying strong, y'all staying solid. You have your ups and downs, your mood swings, or you feel a certain way. I hope you stay strong through it and get back to living the way you're supposed to, all right? Staying prayed up, staying solid, staying thorough, and going day by day as you can, the best way you can, right? So today, I want to talk about these high gas prices. I mean, obviously, this is a number one topic a lot of people are discussing, not only just on Twitter, through social media, but also just in real life. You know, you have these encounters with strangers at gas stations, and you're having your conversations with coworkers or classmates or whatever, and you just talk about how high these gas prices are and how crazy it is, right? And we all understand inflation and also understand the whole war situation going on, the supply of gas and oil, and how all those things play a part. But all in all, this is really hurting so much people out here because many people are basically on their last dollars. What I mean by that is so much people are dealing with rent, bills, mortgage, utilities, taking care of their children, all these different expenses, car notes, that gas is something that just used to be so simple and easy. Now it feels like such a anxiety attack, right? It just feels so burdensome. You know what I mean? We're such in a crisis right now through this pandemic that even high gas prices are bothering people's expenses, right? Depending on what type of person you are financially, how you manage your finances, what type of job you have or income or side hustles, at the end of the day, you got to basically spend $40, $50, $60 to fill up your gas tank, depending on what type of vehicle you drive or how much gas it needs. Some people drive real big trucks and what have you. So they put 70, 80, 90 in the tank, you know what I mean? With diesel, what have you, whatnot. But all in all, it's just crazy, man, going to the gas station nowadays, you know, because I remember last year there was a gas shortage. I don't know if y'all remember that, but last year, everybody was in a panic attack. So yeah, remember last year that gas shortage that happened, I believe, 2021 or late 2020, where everybody was panicking over a shortage of gas and everybody was being all gritty and stingy and, you know, taking just a whole bunch of gas with them. That was just unnecessary, right? But now this is a different type of frenzy where the prices are just going up, you know. And, you know, you see all these funny memes and posts that people put on Twitter, how people go walk and ride a bike and all that stuff. Somebody made a Flintstone joke. But all in all, you know, it just shows you that not everybody's living good. You know, on social media, everybody likes to fake flex or act like they really got it like that, act like they're balling or what have you. But everybody's struggling in a different way. Some people struggle with transportation. Some people struggle with bills. Some people struggle with mortgage. Everyone struggles with some type of thing, right? So it's really crazy out here. And we have to truly humble ourselves and realize that we live in an evil, wicked world. We live in a world where a system doesn't care about us. So us as people, we have to care about God. We have to care about ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and we have to care for others as well. Because the system don't care about us. These politicians don't care about us. These world leaders don't care about us. These authorities don't care about us. Nobody gives a damn about us, okay? This is a messed up world that we live in. This is a very unbalanced, lopsided world we live in. Only the Most High cares for us. This is why I constantly, in every message I do, I stress baptism and a fresh start and getting right with God, because the Most High Son is the way, the truth, and the life. Through all this craziness, you don't want to suffer and go through all this hell on earth and then end up going to hell in the afterlife or the lake of fire. You know, you want to go through all this crazy stuff that we're going through, but at least have God on your side while you're doing it. At least be with the Lord while you're going through all these hardships, all this crisis, all this crazy stuff. At least have God with you while you're going through this. You don't want to go through this all by yourself with no spiritual protection hedge, without having a relationship with God, without hearing God's voice. Okay? God has a mighty hand. He can help us in so many areas of our lives. God has an outstretched arm. He can help us in our situations, okay? We have to seek him. We have to change our ways. We have to repent. You know, it's a whole process to it, but he's worthy, okay? This world is not worthy. There's people walking around not worthy. The Most High is only worthy. And as these high gas prices increase, the cost of living and all these other necessities that we're stressed out about is going to keep going up as well. With inflation, food prices, gas prices, everything's going to go up. Not too many people are going to be able to keep up with this stuff, no matter what type of job or side hustle they have, because all these businesses are going out of shutting down, a lot of bankruptcy, so a lot of people are holding on for dear life when it comes to their jobs and their careers and this living conditions that we're in, okay? So what I want to do is just read this article that's on NBC News and just go from there about this whole situation with high gas prices. Okay, so the title of this article is titled, U.S. Ban on Russian Oil, What This Means for Americans at the Gas Pump. Already elevated oil prices will likely rise, which could send an average gallon of U.S. gasoline past $5 a gallon. And by the way, I'm in the Georgia, South Carolina area, so gas is still like $3.99 around here. Maybe a few parts $4, but still in that $3 mark. Other states are different. Some states got $4, $5, dang near $6 a gallon prices. Man, it's insane. So let's see. Article posted March 8, 2022, 2:14 p.m. Eastern Time by Alicia Fieldstadt and the Associated Press. President Joe Biden's ban on Russian oil comes as gas prices soar to a record high, leaving Americans to wonder how much more will they have to shell out at the pump and if the move will have its intended effect of discouraging Russia's assault on Ukraine. We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy, Biden said Tuesday in remarks from the White House. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. The president warned that the move would possibly increase gas prices in the U.S., but said it was necessary in order to ramp up sanctions pressure on the Russian economy in response to Russia's war on Ukraine. Putin's war is already hurting American families at the gas pump, Biden said. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home. How will the Russian oil ban affect Americans at the pump? Even though the U.S. largely produces sufficient quantities of crude for domestic consumption, oil is a global market. Jesse Wheeler, a Morning Consult economic analyst, said, if global supply declines, the global price will increase. Wheeler said, as global and U.S. crude prices increase, U.S. gas prices will also be driven higher. The price of gasoline already hit a record high of $4.17 for a gallon of unleaded on Tuesday. According to AAA, that breaks the previous high of $4.10 a gallon set in July 2008. A month ago, oil was selling for about $90 a barrel. Now, prices are surging past $120 as buyers shun Russian crude, with many refiners fearing tougher sanctions against Russia could limit their options for moving supplies. Shell announced Tuesday it would immediately stop buying Russian crude oil and other energy products from the country in a phased manner. Energy analysts warned prices could climb as high as $200 a barrel for crude oil. After oil sanctions are imposed by the West, at that level, the average price for a gallon of U.S. gasoline could exceed $5. A scenario Biden and other political figures are desperate to avoid. But Biden on Tuesday devoted much of his remarks to redirecting Americans' anger into Russia's President Vladimir Putin, while also encouraging U.S. energy companies to produce more oil domestically. The president has said the U.S. plans to release 30 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve as part of a global effort to protect consumers and businesses from rising fuel prices, while the U.S. and its allies target Russia's economy. The U.S. contribution is part of a larger effort with 30 other countries to release 60 million barrels of oil from reserves around the world, he said. How much oil does the U.S. import from Russia? Russian oil accounts for only about 8% of U.S. oil imports. According to the most recent data from last year, that accounts for about 5% of Russia's crude oil exports, according to Rystad Energy. Europe, however, depends heavily on Russian oil, which accounts for about a third of its total crude oil imports, while the U.S. daily gets about 700,000 barrels of oil from Russia, Europe sources 4.5 million barrels of Russian crude per day. The U.S. produces most of its crude oil domestically, according to Morning Consult, a global business intelligence company. Of the crude oil products in the U.S. imports from elsewhere, the bulk of it comes from Canada and Mexico. How does the U.S. ban affect Russia? Since the U.S. gets so little oil from Russia, the impact on Moscow will be minimal. Europe banning oil imports from Russia would have much greater ramifications. Biden's decision to ban U.S. imports of Russian oil is noteworthy, but movement toward a European ban on imports of Russian oil and gas would be the real showstopper. Given Europe's relatively high dependence on energy supplies from Russia, Jason McCann, head of geopolitical risk and analysis at Morning Consult, said, such a move, if it materializes, would have major economic and geopolitical ramifications. We can take this step when others cannot, Biden acknowledged Tuesday, but we're working closely with Europe and our partners to develop a long-term strategy to reduce their dependence on Russian energy as well. Before Biden's remarks, the United Kingdom's Business and Energy Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, announced his government would phase out the import of Russian oil and oil products by the end of 2022. This transition will give the market, businesses, and supply chains more than enough time to replace Russian imports, which make 8% of UK demand. He said in a series of tweets, businesses should use this year to ensure a smooth transition so that consumers will not be affected. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said Monday that Europe deliberately exempted Russia energy supplies from sanctions because there is currently no other way of securing Europe's supply of energy for heat generation, for mobility, for power supply, and for industry. Scholz said Germany has been working with its allies to develop alternatives to Russian energy, but that doesn't happen overnight. He added, it is therefore a conscious decision on our part to continue the activities of business enterprises in the field energy supply with Russia. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte also warned that if countries move too quickly to ban Russian oil and gas, it could backfire with enormous consequences. But Dmytro Kuleba, Ukraine's foreign minister, urged in a Washington Post op Monday that, among other measures, countries should do all they can to stop buying Russian oil, which is now tainted with Ukrainian blood. So as there you can see, that whole gas situation and why gas prices are so high, because Russia is the biggest country with the supply of oil out of most countries in the world. So you already know when they go into war, everything gonna go up. So I'm saying all that to say this, man. We're in these crazy times, going through our day-to-day lives, working our jobs or going to school, whatever we're doing. And through all these hardships and things out of our control, we need to have a relationship with God. God is showing us how this world doesn't care about us. Whenever countries go to war, poor people that struggle like us, innocent people, will always be affected by it. Understand that these lawmakers, these politicians, these world leaders, these people are set for life. These people will not struggle, nor their kids will struggle, okay? They will not be affected by any of the things that they do. They will not be affected by shedding all this blood and starting all these wars and doing all this crap for resources and power, because what happens is they're already set to a point where they don't have to go through the consequences of their own bad choices. We are always going to be the recipient of that. We're always going to be the ones who, poor innocent people that have no power, no wealth, they're the ones that get hurt by all of this, okay? So let us have a relationship with God. Let us put God first. Let us stay prayed up. Let us build our relationship with God much better in these crazy times that we're in, okay? Let us keep seeking the Lord and let us just know that He is the provider, okay? He is the provider, all right? Just for a reminder, okay? So much things going on in the world. Let's focus on Christ. Let's focus on the Most High. Let's not be too heavily minded. We're no earthly good. Of course, being in this flesh, being in this system, being in this captivity, in this matrix, we still have to go through these crazy tests and whatnot, okay? But remember, God is bigger than our problems. He is bigger than our struggle. He is able. Nothing is too hard for Him, okay? He is the Savior, the Redeemer, the Bread of Life, the Lord, the Creator, the Son of the living God, the only begotten Son, the beloved Son, the Holy One of Israel, the wonderful Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, the head of the church, the Almighty, the Alpha and Omega, the Master, the King of Jews, the High Priest, the Prophet, the Teacher, the Emmanuel, the Advocate, the Mediator, the Judge, the Chief Cornerstone, the Author and the Finisher of our faith, the Lamb of God, the Good Shepherd, the Shepherd and Bishop of souls, the Word, the Fountain of living waters, the Rock, the Messiah, the True Vine, the Branch, the Bridegroom, Day and Spring, the Shalom, the Lion of the Tribe of Judah, the Bright and Morning Star, the Image of the Visible God, the I Am, the Son of Man, the Carpenter, the Way, the Truth, and the Life, the King of Israel, and Christ, okay? Just a reminder that we serve a great God. In the midst of chaos and war, we still serve a great God, so let's keep staying prayed up in these times that we're in, okay? If you're having transportation issues or car issues or issues with staying on top of your finances, I would encourage you to have a good relationship with God. I would encourage you to probably try to find a new side hustle or find a new job or gig to help you survive and get some nice financial, emotional support if you can while you're going through these hardships. I pray to God that whoever listens to this message, I pray that you get baptized, you start your life well for the Lord. I pray that you get through these hardships and these crazy times and these trials and tribulations. I pray that you become more stronger and more wiser. I pray that you make better decisions. And I pray that you handle things much better in your everyday life. I'm Jarvis Kingston. I got much love for y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.